Welcome to video 6 on the Yamaha Montage and MODX synthesizers. This here in the middle is the screen, and right now it shows the so-called live set. This screen makes possible to quickly change between sounds. There are presets, but there are also user screens, and this video is about how we can populate the user screens with our own sounds, so stay tuned. In the previous video we had a look how we can find a sound in the vast collection of over 2700 even. And for that we use this category search screen. But once we found a sound, how can we put it on the live set screen, which is the screen which makes it possible to tap a shortcut and quickly change between sounds? Because that category search, it is interesting to find a sound, but it is not very useful when you are playing somewhere or doing a gig or a show and you need to change sounds. This live set screen is much more handy for that. This is the preset bank, and it's already filled with 16 shortcuts. Well, the 16 is not all. Over here we see that we also have pages, and we can use these arrows over here to switch between pages and reach 16 new shortcuts. We currently are in a bank that is called preset, and that preset bank, the pages in it, cannot be modified. So how can we create our own shortcuts? Well, for that we have to go to another bank, tap the arrow, and then we can go to an empty bank, or one that is already half filled with stuff that we placed there. And now we have the granular motion as the currently active sound. Suppose I would like to add it, then all I need to do is press the or tap the edit field over here, or press the edit button on the user interface. And that brings us to a situation where we have these pluses in these slots. And suppose I want to add that granular motion sound shortcut over here, then I only have to tap that slot over there, and then the granular motion, the currently active sound, is added here as a shortcut. While we are in edit mode, we might as well change the name, because user 2 is not a very useful name and page 3 also not. So if we tap those bank or name fields, then we enter a new screen where we can edit the name that we want the bank or the page to have, and when we are done we tap done. Also there's the option, of course, if you made a mistake, to delete the active field, or we can swap it with another field. If you tap swap over here, then just tap another field and they will change places. That way you can get them in exactly the sequence you want them to be. Or you can even copy a shortcut. Suppose that you're doing a gig and you have this method of having all the different sounds for different songs, tap it in sequence, then it can happen that you need the same sound twice, and then you just copy it, and then you have that field with the same sound, but that's just the way you work them in sequence. And here on the bottom we have a lot of stuff that we can also change, like give the slot another name. We can change the color, which is the color of this, in this case, black bar over here. You can give that different colors. You can even set the volume for this sound in this particular shortcut. Alright, we are done, so we can stop editing, and to do that we can tap the done field in the upper right corner, or on the user interface press the exit button, and that will bring us back to the standard non-edit mode, the operation mode, so to speak. And we now have the granular motion added to our personal shortcut page, which we also renamed, and that is all quite nice. But now maybe I want to add some more shortcuts, so first I need to find the new sounds, and for that we can of course simply tap the category search here or the category button like shown in the previous video. We can use all the filters to find a sound and then tap one here in the sounds available. And then what we can do directly from this category search page, we can add it to the shortcuts by doing this on the user interface. Press the shift button and simultaneously the live set button, and that will bring us to this screen where the first available free slot is now highlighted. If I tap it, then the shortcut will be placed there. Or maybe I want to change location and then I first tap another field and then tap it a second time. That's how you can simply add a shortcut when you were in that category search page. One final thing, it is even possible to use a foot switch to step through these shortcuts, and to do that go to the utility screen by pressing the utility button on the user interface, then find settings and MIDI I/O. I have no idea why it is under the MIDI I/O, but it is there. There is the Footswitch Assign, and we can scroll through all the options via the dial wheel on the user interface. We cannot tap this field because the list is much too long to fit the screen. So use the dial wheel to find the live set plus, or there's also a live set minus. And when we have assigned the live set plus or minus to the foot switch, we can use the foot switch to step through these sounds on the live set. That could be maybe useful when you're doing a gig. Well, this was it for this video. In the next video, well, I think it's getting time to have a closer look at the anatomy of a performance. So maybe see you back there.